Hello everybody, I'm here finishing up the reassembly of the board stacks of these Xeltek Superpro programmers. This is the Superpro 6100N. I'll link to the 6100 non-N and the 6000 and 5000 in the description. You could also just see my other videos. I'll link the blog post. If you like these teardowns and up-close inspection looks, please like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being a subscriber. Let's go through the assembly of this board stack and the inspection. So the first board, I'll be a pro at these by the time I'm done, is the ground driver board. Right there. I'll zoom in so you can see it. This board is different than the 6100 non-N. It does have additional components. Aaron at Xeltek said the difference between the 6100 and 6100N was upgraded transistors, and I found a lot more different. I'll go over that when I reassemble the 6100 non-N. Give you my thoughts. But I gotta do this standing up because I can't see the camera. Make sure it's in focus. And I gotta move Cotty. She's gonna want to come over and nudge my hands. Pretty simple pin driver boards here. It's 3.3 volt. The other side. Yeah, I know the pictures on the web are not that good. That's why I'm doing these videos. You can just pause it if you need to get a part number for a repair or something. These little transistors, they're labeled Y1 on this and Y2. If you blow your programmer up, that's have pin driver issues. That's generally the transistors that pop. Mostly the Y2s. But so that's the ground board. Let me put this the right side up here. And the next board will be the, I gotta look at my notes because I don't have this memorized, the V3, which is right here. This is the V3 driver board. And generally V3 means for like voltage 3 when you're doing your calibration checks. Let me zoom back in here. This is the V3 board. Got to do it at different angles to get the lighting, to get the numbers to show. And people ask what camera I'm using. I'm using my Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Seems to do pretty well. It's got laggy focus. And these diodes pop too. I've fixed a couple of these machines for people. Blow them up not knowing what they're doing. But see, those transistors are labeled Y2. Like I said, I don't see, other than the actual board revision's different and it has different parts in some areas. The difference between the 6100 and the 6100N. I mean, there we go. Focus. Yeah, I wish the focus on this camera was better. If anybody's got a recommendation for a camera that has good macro focus for doing this, let me know. So I'll zoom back out. I'll take that V3 board. I was hoping to be able to do this stuff sitting now, but no, I'm going to still have to stand. We're going to install it on that board. Might want to put it on the correct direction, right? Okay. Once it's on, you can push it down. Any binding stop. It means you have a bent pin. Those pins inside there are really little. And I've had a guy bring me one of theirs they took apart to replace a transistor, and he couldn't get it back to working, and he ended up breaking a pin. That was an interesting one. But these connectors are standard connectors. I think I have the part number still to them. So next board is the V3 1 through 72. Give you a nice look at this board. And if you notice the dates on these, 2000s, like on, well, I already got that one covered up. But that one was like a 2007 date code too. So copyright 2007.06. So they've been using this technology for almost 20 years. Yeah, 2006, that's 19 years. Or 2007. So my math is off. So 18 years. Yes, I know how to do math. Sometimes I don't get it right, but I know how to do it. Come on. Focus. Those just don't want to. Those are Y2. It's like an SS8050 or something like that. The part number. There we go. We're focusing. And when you do your test, it'll tell you like pin driver, pin number is an error or a short on pin number. And that's will tell you basically go to the Q number and the D number and the diode. That'll pretty much take you right to the part. So but you can pick these up on eBay pretty reasonably. The 6000s, 6100Ns used. Don't pay a lot on eBay for them used because most of the time they're broken. They might power up, they might look right, but if you run a self-test on them, which I'll link that file in the description, it will have an error generally, and you will be replacing either transistors or, if all else fails, something really major. But generally it's one of those little transistors or a diode. Let's throw some standoffs on here. And Cotty's over here. She'll make an appearance here once I get some room. I'm trying to get these videos out because I'm going to probably take a few days off next week, so I need a break. this weekend's going to be stressful. So okay. So this will be the V3 pin 1 through 72. I'm going to assume that's what it looks like. Okay, we're getting there. Almost a programmer again. And I can't have this down any longer. I have some programming work I need to do on Friday. I have other programmers I can use, which I should be using, getting more knowledge on the software on that programmer. It's not as simple to use as the Xeltek programmer. That's what I like about the Xeltek. Xeltek software is super simple to use. It's got some Chinglish in it, and some of the descriptions and some of the functions are not 100% super clear. But compared to the other offerings out there, it is, I think, one of the best software suites for programming. I am disliking what Xeltek China is doing currently. They are currently geo-forwarding on their China site. So you go to their .cn site and their download sections, you can get the daily builds. And you can see with the most current device list updates and everything. We're going to be working on the V1 board. But yeah, so the geo-forwarding, you go to download their software and it refers you to the USA site, which the USA site don't update everything daily. So you have to use a proxy and say that you're from like Europe to download it from the China site. I'll go over that in another video. But it's kind of a shady deal. And if you notice, this board was made 2019, 23rd week. Same with this board. So this is still an older programmer. So here are those parts. Focus. There we go. But even though it was made in 2019, a little scratch on that board. It's still an old revision. Because that's still 2007, probably August is when that was designed. So I would think if they changed the design, they would upgrade their screen printing. But that didn't happen. So let's put this board on. Should we give Cotty some cookies? It's getting there. Let's make some room here. Give Cotty some cookies here. Here, we'll give Cotty some cookies. Here, Cotty, get some cookies. Okay, you got your cookies. Here, put some over here. Go back and sit down. Y'all can give a like for Cotty. And so, next board. Yeah, I've been meaning to get this bench here. It's probably why it's echoey, because there's no equipment in the back there. But I think I'm going to use a ram mount flex arm for the camera. But I need recommendations on a camera, guys. It's something that can zoom and... yeah, I might just keep using this. I don't know. Okay, so next board is the V1 board. Did I just do the V1 board? Yes, I just did the V1 board. Or did I do the V2? See, my brain is... I think that was the V1 board I just did. But if not, this is the V2 board. Yeah, that one was 08. My mind is... my head's busy right now. Not in the game. But this is the V2 board. Cotty hair everywhere. You can get all your part numbers. More Cotty hair. So we'll toss that on. There we go. Easy, easy. Get in there. Okay, next is the I/O board. Now this one was way different on the layout. Same Xilinx chip for you Xilinx fans. It's the same chip, seems to be all the way from the 5000 to the 7500 or 7000. But this was a redesign in 2015. The 6100. I think I got that one over here. The 6100 was 2007 of June. So that's one major difference. Focus. Won't focus. But we'll just continue on through this one. You see all the parts. Gaudy hair. If you guys want to look up that diode pack, find me a part number on it, that'd be awesome. Post it in the description. Any of these parts on these boards, if you want to look them up, post them in the description. I'll add them to the blog, or post them in the comments, and I will add them to the blog. So we will. It takes a lot of time on the blog to go through all these parts and list the major ones. If companies would provide us their bill of materials, which they say is proprietary and confidential or a trade secret, which, you know, all somebody has to do is open the unit up and look and see with their eyes. And, you know, you can't really make something that's in the wild in the public confidential and trade secret unless you pot it up, and then somebody can still remove the potting and find out what the part is. So, you know, bills of materials and schematics. I mean, anybody with a multimeter and the time could reverse engineer this and make a complete schematic. The only reason why they don't give schematics is they want to hide what they're doing. They want to say, oh, we have this technology, and this technology, and they don't really have that technology. You know, what's the difference between Model 1 and 1.1? You know, yeah, we're going to stop supporting the software for Model 1, but you have to, if you want more support, and you have to buy Model 1.1. What's the difference? Is it just firmware? Or is it something that somebody could update the firmware and change a transistor? Or, you know, is it a security? Is it a lockout chip, like a printer chip, you know, for a printer cartridge? I don't know why that sticker, this board had flux over it, like it wasn't washed properly. And that sticker is kind of, but yeah, so I'll get into more of that when I reassemble the 6100N, and I'll post a blog post on that one. That's what we got going on there. Back in the TV VCR days in the late 90s, whenever TV and VCR shops were around, that's who you would ask what you know, TVs are of good quality. You know, if it was like a store brand, like an Admiral or a Montgomery Ward's or something, a TV shop could tell you, hey, that TV there's got a Sony, you know, or a GE chassis, or a, you know, that Emerson VCR is the same as the Zenith. That Zenith VCR is, you know, the Sears and Roebuck brand. So you could get the store model and you'd be confident that it's the same thing as a name brand. So now the main board, and this is the MCU board. This has got some interesting stuff on it. I know this video is going long, but it's okay. If you don't like it, skip. If you don't like it, comment and tell me what you don't like about it, so I know, so I can adjust. So this is the main board. If you notice, it is 9 of 2009. So this is the same board as the 6000 and 6100. The only difference between the 6100 and this board were the size I'll show you here in a minute, of these tantalum capacitors. See that C2 there? See if I can hold these with one hand. I can focus this thing. Okay. And then over here, it's the only thing I can see different. I mean, they upgraded the capacitors. RAM's the same. That was a non-in. And same silk screen. 9 of 09. So these boards have a custom chip right here. This is probably an ACTEL chip with a Xeltek number on it. We don't know. It's kind of like a mask ROM back in the old days. Then you have their little 8-pin here, which is an AE801, which is like an LKT 4000. That number, that chip right there holds your serial number and model number information. That chip is encrypted. It's an ISO 7816 base communications protocol on it. So when the software says, hey, what programmer am I talking to? It's talking to that chip right there. So then the MCU on it is an Atmel. Then you have some flash RAM. Or flash. Right there. I'm on focus. That is a AT45 DB161E. So that's like SPI flash. RC16, I'm not sure what that is off the top of my head. I'm not a Dave Jones, I don't go through these ahead of time. So this right here is probably, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to say. What is that? SpyX something? Oh, what is that? I'll have to look it up. Not sure what this J1 does. Maybe I should put a jumper on one and find out. That looks like maybe a communications to this custom here. And that looks like a JTAG port to the Atmel there. Memory. USB controller there. I don't like that logo on the 5000Es and the 5000. That logo there had a lot of USB chip failures, so. Back of the board. Let me zoom out. Yeah, those pins there are very tiny. Those are the power supply pins. You have to remember, these boards are center negative. Okay, I'm what, 30 minutes into this here? And yeah, these capacitors on the back here are also larger. Let me zoom out here so you can see that. Compared to the 6100. So I think that is one of the upgrades they did between the 6100 and 6100N, other than the I/O board and the ground driver board. And that is the MCU board. I'm still not sure what that battery is for. I have emailed them and asked them, and I have not got a reply. So it's not pop. There's no battery in it, so I have no clue what it's for. So and when I'm done, I will go through and I'll give you my recommendation on which programmer is the best value. Okay, and if I remember right, I believe these were right there. I think. I hope. I don't remember. I'll have to go and review that video. But it's not a problem if I'm wrong. Just, they go on there somewhere. I wonder, I remember that Tom Evans audio. And the guy complaining about plastic standoffs. I mean, plastic standoffs have their purpose, but I would have preferred all these to be metal. Would have given it a little bit more weight, a little bit stronger, but I've never seen one with those broken. This thing sits in there tight. So, and it don't weigh much. So, I will weigh it and post the weight if you guys want me to. Okay, now the power supply board. This had a different revision date on it. This revision date was 2020-02. Okay, power supply board on all the others has a revision date of 2007-06. So maybe that's June 2007. So again, I could not see anything majorly different with it other than larger capacitors. Right here. My thumb's pointing. C7 there. But that's the only thing I could see. I did not see any major chip changes. So it would be nice to know. Maybe you guys can spot something. I've done this to the other. Somebody's got time, they can go through the video and check it out. This 47035 and the older programmers, they must have used a horrible manufacturer because that capacitor nukes itself. And these are your voltage regulator adjustment pots. There's VR1. If you want to do your own calibration, those are the pots to do your own calibration. Calibrating these is really, really simple. If you start going out of calibration, it's generally mean you got a problem somewhere. Once it's set, it's pretty much set. I mean, over time they drift a little bit, but you can get it. If you got a good enough meter, you can get them spot on. Not much going on the bottom. So that is the reassembly. Make sure you get these pins that are lined right up. See, I'm a little off there. These pins there will fold right over if you're not careful. Okay. I like to look down, verify nothing got pushed out along the side. On the final, yeah, on the 5000, these standoffs here were plastic. So, and then the only screws, yeah, it's 6100N. The only screws we have left are the screws to put the bottom plate back on. So we have all screws, nuts, and bolts accounted for. There we go. That is the stack up for the Xeltek Superpro 6100N. I know this video is long, but I just wanted to be thorough. So, and if everything works out, it's awesome. So, like, subscribe. I don't know what to talk about when I'm doing this. So, let's give Cotty cookies. Cotty wants cookies. She's been a really good girl, being well behaved. Yep, she's been sitting over there watching me. So y'all get to see your Cotties for my cat lovers. I've got a few people that subscribe just for kitties. So, well, let them see Cotties. We'll run this to 40 minutes, feeding Cotties. So, if you like cats, subscribe. And if you like and comment, I give Cotty double cookies. That means she gets 6 instead of 3. So, she's messy. She likes it when I do videos because she gets a lot of cookies. Okay, we're at 39 minutes. Shall we go to get even more cookies? We're going to get you fat. We're almost out of cookies, yes. I have a whole bunch of cookies in there. I do. Yeah, see that mess? Gotta finish eating her cookies before I give her more. Yeah, I like the Xeltek programmers. I do recommend them to people. So. Okay, we're 40 minutes. We're out.